going to start with a boring question of the transfer window because it's getting closer and closer. I'm not sure, apart from post-match tomorrow, we're going to have the opportunity to speak to you before it ends. Thinking about the timing, maybe we are, but any business going to be done? Anything imminent? Anything going on?
Yeah, a lot going on. Not in time for tomorrow, but a lot going on. A lot where we're actually a lot closer than we were a couple of days ago. So really pleased with the progress we've made in terms of how close we are on some deals. So yeah, I'm expecting a busy weekend, to be totally honest. So yeah, we'll obviously keep you posted when we hear stuff.
Yeah, watch this space.
Definitely.
And then the flip side of that is obviously players coming in for your players. Have you had any approaches for any of your players then?
Nope, nothing. Nice, easy question.
I like those short answers. They work really well.
Yeah.
Because we've got so much to talk about with this game at the weekend. There's so many facets to this game. It's such an interesting and exciting one to look forward to. But just briefly, we spoke on Tuesday night about that performance against Burton. And I think a lot of people would regard it, including yourself, as one of the most complete performances this season. When we were having conversations, this is a long question. So when we were having conversations earlier this season, and you were saying about that development, that progression, that moving forward, do you feel as if certain things are starting to click into place now that you wanted to earlier in the season?
Yeah, I definitely feel that. And again, it's a process that takes time to get to a level where the group can deliver it consistently, and throughout the year they've shown such high level moments. I thought the other night what I really liked was we're big on trying to have control in all moments, and I thought whether it was the build up, whether it was our press, whether it was we were blocking, whether it is set pieces, attacking, defending, whether it is transition, I felt we had really good control in all of them moments, which allowed us to dominate the game. I think that was the biggest thing from the collective, and then within that some individuals I thought really showed progress in terms of their development of understanding what we're asking them to do, and the biggest thing is stepping up and making really good decisions. And I thought that was the bit that we've challenged the group a lot with in terms of around problem solving. I thought we attacked really well the other night going through round over, and that unpredictability I thought caused Burton some problems. So that was the biggest thing. I felt that the guys really stepped up to own their decisions and own the performance, and yeah, I went home really happy with that as much as anything.
And added to that, with Burton in mind and the Doncaster previous game, you've done this consistently. You spoke to Josh McKechnie about this as well, and every time the questions have been asked of you from a previous game, there's always a response. There's always that next game, better performance, get the result, and kind of move on.
And again, I think that huge credit to the guys, also the staff and the culture we have here. I think throughout the club, I think it's really important. Not too high, not too low. Take each game as it comes, and I think that's why you then get that that ability to quickly move on. And I think you have to take certain elements. I think we can't just ignore Doncaster. We have to take certain learnings, certain elements from it into the next game to respond in the right way. And that's what I love about the group. They've done that numerous times this year, in that resilience, that bouncing back, whether it's within the game or after a game. What gets you through that, I think, is being close knit, being together, being a team, everybody being all in. And I think I enjoyed watching back the celebration after the goal. Every single one runs over to the corner and everybody's all in, which I think it speaks volumes for the respect that the players have for each other, and are enjoying themselves as well. Which again, I think if you've got players that are in a good spot mentally, I think you see that come out in the pitch with the performances.
Not part of you that wished to have been another player and not Scott Twine, so he could have been kept under the radar until the 1st of Feb.
Nah, definitely not. I want Twani to keep delivering. He's first class, to be fair. So it was a great goal, and one that he's worked really hard at. He set such high standards for himself. It was great to see him do that.
I asked you a couple of weeks ago about AFC Wimbledon, how much you were looking forward to that game. Again, this is very different in many respects because it's two sides going for the playoffs, and positionally there's so much to talk about. But first and foremost, how much are you looking forward to this match? I'm sure you look forward to every game, but there's something a little bit special about this one.
Yeah, definitely. I thought obviously our place as well, the sending off changed it a little bit. I thought that changed the game, and it actually started off, I thought, really. It looked like it was going to be a really good game at home in terms of, obviously, their press, our build-up. I thought it was a real good match-up in terms of styles. So, yeah, the sending off obviously then changed it a little bit, but it was still a really tough game. Even I remember second half, they obviously went 2 up and continued to try and get after it a little bit and cause us some problems even with 10 men. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think there's a lot of similarities between us and Wycombe in terms of if you look at where we probably sit in the league budget-wise, we're probably both overachieving slightly at the moment from that perspective. If you look at, Gareth's done a terrific job there. But a lot of that's built on getting good people in and having a really strong culture. And I think that, that very much aligns with me in terms of what's really important here. That, the foundations of our work has to be good people and strong culture. So I think there's a lot of similarities from that perspective, definitely. So I think it's a game that I really can't wait to get down and obviously get going.
It's really interesting you brought up the similarities in the culture because I completely agree. Experiencing both clubs as I have, there is something within the setup that says respect, teamwork, attitude, and they are all key elements of what MK Dons are and what Wycombe are.
Yeah, and I think it goes a really, really long way. And I think that has to be, before we even talk around playing styles, I think it has to be built on that. I think, if you want the club to continually do well and, over a long period of time continue to be a success like Gareth's done at Wycombe, that them foundations are built on having good people that are honest, that are hard working, that are fully committed. So I'm very much, that's really important for me in my way of working here, in the staff and the players. Everybody has to be all in on that. And I think what we've done is, Liam included, built a good group of people here that all have a common goal, and everybody's doing their maximum to help the club get there.
There's clearly mutual respect between you and Gareth, because I've heard his interview already, and there's clearly mutual respect between the two of you. He does, however, feel a little hard done by about the sending off, and obviously Anthony Stewart's sending off was rescinded. He feels that there's a wrong to be righted at Adams Park.
Yeah, for me, I'm not thinking around too much around the previous one. I think it's a long time ago now. There's a lot changed. A lot of different personnel, different experiences, different progress in terms of development. So, of course, I understand it from his perspective, and rightly so. He was frustrated with the decision. But I think it's one of them. There's been a lot of them this year that every manager's probably been on the back end of. So for me, it's entering the game with the same attitude that we showed on Tuesday. I think that's the most important thing. Showing obviously Wycombe the respect they deserve. Going in, understanding that the starting point for us is we have to fight, we have to work, we have to compete, and then earn the right to impose our style. And I think that's the biggest challenge for the guys, and one that I'm looking forward to, and I know they are.
There's some clubs in League One who would be happy with 1,500 home supporters on a match day. It's possible that MK Dons could be taking up to that number to Adams Park. It's going to make for an electrifying atmosphere, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't wait. And I know the players, we speak about the atmosphere, and you see it after the game on Tuesday, right? Obviously I spoke about them afterwards, but the fans were terrific on Tuesday. To travel up there and support us and get behind the team like they did, was terrific. And hopefully, I think they would have gone home happy, not only with the 3 points, the manner of the 3 points, but also the performance. So, yeah, when I got told about the numbers of travelling fans, I thought it was incredible. So, hopefully we can go there and make it an enjoyable afternoon for them.
Thank you, Liam.
I will eventually press the unmute button. How are Harry Garland and Aidan Baldwin getting on?
Yeah, progressing well. To be fair, they're both heading in the right direction. So, been out and done a little bit on the grass. So we'll have to see how they go.
You mentioned to us last week that you kind of hope for a busy week in the transfer window. Obviously, there's things transpiring, and the hard work obviously continues. Are you a little frustrated though that it hasn't come before the weekend?
I try not to. For me, it would be a wasted emotion, to be totally honest, and a waste of energy, just because it can't actually, affect or change anything. I think what I do know is that myself, Liam, the people behind the scenes are working as hard as we can to get things done. But I've referenced it before. I think it's really important that we get the right people in, the right players in, and we don't rush into it. Like I said, we don't have endless pots of money to go and spend. So I think it's really important that when we do get permanent players in, that it's actually for the long-term good of the club. So we're working really hard. I know we're really close on a few. It would have been great to have an extra couple for the game tomorrow. But as I've also said, we went up to Burton, put on a great performance Tuesday night with the squad we've got, and we must never overlook the lads that we have in the building at that present time. So we'll keep pushing. We'll keep working as hard as we can, and I'm confident that we'll get some stuff done sooner rather than later.
We also mentioned it a few times already this window, but Peter Kioso and Ethan Robson obviously going back, and you said you'd keep the door open for them. Is the door still open, or is it slightly more closed now?
Yeah, no, we obviously got the one spot. We're going to see what happens. I think at the minute is not a lot can happen before the game tomorrow. I think it's a case of making sure that we all the energy, my energy especially, goes into the game tomorrow. Liam will continue working behind the scenes, and like I said, we've got the one loan spot that we know we can bring somebody in on loan, and we'll see what it looks like after the games tomorrow. I think that's probably the key bit. There's obviously people have been called back for different reasons, so that might potentially change after the games tomorrow. So we'll have a look.
And finally, with regards to deadline day, it's always the most chaotic part, isn't it? Where you're watching the clock tick down to 11 o'clock and just hoping that it gets over and done with and all that sort of stuff. Are you hoping that it's all done before the deadline, or are you expecting it to go right to the wire?
To be honest, I think hopefully we'll get our business done before then. You can never say never. Definitely right. I think that's the key bit. In an ideal world, we'd have it all done by now, but that's what the industry's like. There's so many moving parts that I think ultimately we'll push to get as much done as we can as early as possible ultimately, and we'll see how we go.